What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Keep It Hoop YouTube channel. Today, I wanted to talk about what the Clippers did specifically in Game 6 to try to slow down Luka Doncic. Now, I know in Game 7, he went off for 46, 14, and 7, so it's not like they slowed him down. It wasn't his fault that the Mavericks lost. But they did enough to allow Paul George, Kawhi, guys like Reggie Jackson and Luke Kennard stepping up to win Game 7 and move on to the second round. But I think that, right, because Kawhi is going to get the credit for stopping or at least slowing Luka down. He took the challenge of being the initial and primary defender on Luka, something that wasn't happening to start the series, and Luka was just getting whatever he wanted. And again, overall, Luka played really well in the series, so it's not like they were able to really contain him too much. But I think that having Kawhi on him definitely changed some things. And overall, it's a team effort, right? Because whenever you're trying to stop or even slow down a guy like Luka, these great offensive players that we have in the league today, it has to be a team effort, especially the way with how spread out the floor is today, the pace that everyone plays at. It is really a team effort. So I wanted to point that out. And some of it was, at least in Game 6, other players on Dallas not stepping up, the floor spacing kind of being a little bit messed up, and the offense just not being completely on the same page. But yeah, so I wanted to point things out real quickly. You have the start of the game here, right? It's still 3-5, 10:40 left in the first quarter. But right away, they're going to start hedging Luka really hard, almost a trap, all the way out here, right? And you see here, Luka's about to get rid of the ball. And that's the first thing that the Clippers really wanted to do. Get the ball out of Luka's hands as much as possible. Now, Luka's obviously going to try to get it back. They're going to run handoffs. They're going to run screens because he really does everything for them, right? He has around a 40% usage rate, and I don't think that's necessarily great for him or the team. I know he's trying to do the best he can, and he really, is their best option. But you saw with James Harden and the Rockets, it's not always a winning formula, especially in the playoffs where teams can load up on you. They're scouting you. The teams are just better defensively usually. So it's pretty difficult, right? But regardless, they were able to get the ball out of Luka's hands a lot more. As the role guy, Boban a lot of times was forced to kind of make different reads and be a playmaker. It's also difficult here because a lot of times, Dallas wasn't necessarily adjusting well to this, because you see here, Dorian Finney-Smith is on his way to either get the ball or set a screen, right? Which allows Reggie Jackson to guard two people at once. If the defense is going to hedge someone all the way out here, ideally you want your offense to be able to play 4-on-3, right? But because Dorian Finney-Smith is right next to the roll man, Reggie Jackson's able to guard two guys at once, which means Paul George can kind of stay on his guy, right? He's a little bit far away, but with his athleticism and wingspan, he can get back out to Tim Hardaway. And same thing for Nicholas Batum on Kristaps. So you can see why, again, Dallas not being 100% prepared for this, but still good adjustment by the Clippers to just try to get the ball out of Luka's hands. So same thing here, right? Kawhi gets caught up on the screen. Really nice job by Luke Kennard to just come out here, hedge really hard, and just make Luka Doncic hold the ball on for a split second. Because if he doesn't do that, right, if he doesn't come out all the way out here and he stays around the screen, that allows Luka to then just turn the corner and go all the way to the basket, right? And that's when you start having problems, because then you have Paul George having to help off of Kleber. Maybe Rondo has to help off, and Marcus Morris has to come up. And then that's when Luka's playmaking abilities come into play. He can kick out, to out here, or he can just look at the basket himself, right? He can finish, go to the Euro, go to the floater, go to the mid-range jump shot, whatever. But again, because Kennard is able to hedge out really hard, it allows Kawhi to get back into the play. Messy play over here, and then it just doesn't work out for Dallas. So same exact thing as the first clip we looked at. They have the Boban screen up top. Marcus Morris does a really nice job of hedging hard. And the thing I want to see Luka do a bit better in the situation going forward, and he did even do a better job of this in Game 7, is holding your dribble longer. Don't pick your dribble up. Extend the play. Let the play develop. Let your guys, move around so you can actually have that 4-on-3 advantage. Again, Morris is hedging and trapping really hard, which leaves your offense, right, the ability to play 4-on-3. But he picks the ball up immediately, which, again, you have the same thing here. Reggie Jackson's guarding two guys because Dorian Finney-Smith hasn't been able to get out of the way yet, which allows Paul George to stay here. So again, it should be a situation where the Mavs can play 4-on-3, but instead it's pretty much 3-on-3 because they haven't been able to let the play develop. Again, the Clippers doing a really nice job of hedging hard, but the Mavericks need to do a better job of spacing if Luka's going to get doubled and hedged this hard. Now, this is where personnel comes into play, because I think one of the biggest things we saw is Luka needs another playmaker, right? His usage rate is really high because, like we said earlier, he really is the only creator on this team. Boban's not a playmaker. Dorian Finney-Smith isn't a playmaker. Tim Hardaway isn't a playmaker. Kristaps. All these guys are guys who can score, but they're not making plays for other people. They're not creating for other people. They're not making other guys better. So Luka really has to do everything. And if the Clippers can just come out here and hedge and double this far out without being punished for it because they can't space and because there isn't another guy who can make plays for other people, it just hurts Dallas's offense so much. And it's so much easier to game plan and plan against that if you're the Clippers. So you have multiple efforts here, right? They get it back to Boban, another dribble handoff, right, to Luka. Doncic sets up as another screen. And again, Marcus Morris right here, not letting Luka turn the corner and get to the rim, and still not a one-on-one opportunity, right? Luka's seeing multiple guys. Even Reggie Jackson is coming out here. So he's seeing three guys really with Kawhi in his peripheral as well. Nothing easy. You're throwing different looks at Luka. Make sure he always is seeing multiple guys. And, he gets a pass off to Boban. But again, it's hard for someone Boban's side to catch the ball in traffic, stop on a dime, and make an accurate pass. Because Reggie Jackson, again, he's being a pest here. And he's able to just help off of Dorian Finney-Smith. Not great spacing here by the Mavs. And you have a situation here where it just leads to a bad pass. Again, same thing. Now they have a set, Dorian Finney-Smith setting the screen, and he's going to slip it really hard. But as we let this run, Doncic picks up his dribble here. And this is just an awful place to pick up your dribble, because, again, you have Marcus Morris as being able to guard two guys because Willie Cauley-Stein is still in a screen setting position, right? He hasn't even had the time to roll or do anything. And that's why I talk about, if Luka is able to draw this out here, keep his dribble, then you have a situation where you have Dorian Finney-Smith is then allowed to, roll. So Marcus Morris probably has to go with him. If not, if Marcus Morris is staying with Willie Cauley-Stein, then Terrence Mann has to come out, and then you have Kristaps is going to be wide open, right? But regardless, whatever the option ends up being, you allow the play to develop more. And Luka, again, if he's picking the ball up all the way out here, it's just really tough to get anything good going because the defense is just still able to key in and play guys even. And you see here, it just ends up leading to a really bad pass and a turnover. So then you see what happens when he is able to, just let the play develop a bit more. You have a screen here. This is in the second half now, right? Where Marcus Morris is still hedging kind of hard, but Luka stays patient, right? Keeps his dribble, lets the play develop. And then now you have a mismatch where Paul George is guarding Boban in the paint. And then you just have, you're able to throw him the ball, get an easy basket for your team. So you have the same thing here. Again, Luke Kennard trap. Luka picks up the ball, right? So can't dribble all the way out here, pretty much at half court. He's not a threat to shoot. Can't really create a play for anyone else. Dorian Finney-Smith gets it. And if you can just get the ball out of Luka's hands, even if it's for a split second, because even if he does get it back, you're just wasting their shot clock. And once the shot clock winds down, then you can allow Kawhi to play one-on-one defense, which is where he really excels. And you saw that. But time and time again, they're able to load up on Luka because they don't have any other playmakers. Now, if they get someone else as a playmaker, it's going to help. Luka's going to have more of an outlet. Again, Luka can get better at letting the play develop and not picking up his dribble. But he's obviously not at fault for losing this series, right? He played really well for the most part. He couldn't have done much more. So, Dallas, I think, needs to look at themselves and they need changes, right? I know Carlisle's getting some flack for the amount of first-round losses they've had, but I think for the most part, they've either been the underdog or it's been really close, right? I don't think he's ever underperformed. And as an X's and O's guy, I think Carlisle is still one of the better coaches in the league. And I don't think any of the players have ever really complained about playing for him. So it's not even we need a change of voice in the locker room situation. But this team needs more playmakers. Again, I brought up the James Harden and Rockets situation. It's really hard to win this way. And now you have reports of, what's going to happen with Kristaps. He's a guy that didn't play well this series. He shot a decent percentage, but ever since the injuries, he's kind of been relegated to being a 7'3" spot-up shooter who is not the defender he once was because of the injuries. He's a guy that I don't want to say ego, but he's always been a confident player and is obviously used to the spotlight from his days in New York. And there's rumors that he's been disgruntled, and he's shot that down in the past. But a lot of times when rumors come out, there's at least some truth to it, right? So we'll see what happens with him. But they definitely need another playmaker. It's going to be difficult because then who do you take out of the starting lineup? Dorian Finney-Smith, I know they love him a lot with his defense and his improved ability to knock down shots. Tim Hardaway is still inconsistent. We saw it time and time again in the playoffs and throughout the season. There's games where he looks like he can be Luka's number 2 go-to guy, and then there are days where he is just off and he disappears. And that's always been the problem with Tim Hardaway. Very streaky guy. When he's on, looks like an all-star. When he's not, looks like just a solid shooter. That's it. So they definitely have a lot of things to work on. But the good thing is, right, obviously you have Luka. He's a guy you can build around. Already one of the best players in the league. Looks like he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer, generational talent. That's been established already, right? But you see clips like this and you realize there's still a lot of things he can work on, a lot of things that the Dallas Mavericks can do for him to help him out. If he can, not even an all-star, but if they can get another playmaker, I just think it makes him so much more lethal, allows him to have more space, probably save his energy a bit too, because there are times where he looked tired, and they don't. It's not like they get out on the fast break and get easy baskets. Part of that is because they're not a great defensive team as well. But just wanted to point out some of the things the Clippers did outside of just Kawhi being great individually, some of the team defense things, but also pointing out what Dallas couldn't capitalize on offensively. But yeah, shorter video today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Also follow us on our social media pages. Links will be in the description below. Should be back either tomorrow or Wednesday with another video, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, till then, peace.